This is my custom of Minerva from Transformers Super God Master Force. She uses the Prime Rid Viacon body, with the Minerva head included in the Legends God Ginrai gift set. This is a pretty fun set, but I would like to sell it soon, and I would like to sell it in a complete state. So I think it's about time that I made my own custom head for this custom Minerva. Hasbro made a new Minerva toy in the Legacy line a few years ago. I'm not a big fan of this one, but this head sculpt is immaculate. So why don't I try and adapt this into the Titan Master system? I'll use the spare Nightbeat I have as a base. I can repaint the body and replace the face with the one from the Hasbro Minerva. The Minerva head does have a screw holding it together, so we'll remove that with a Phillips head screwdriver. Bit of a tight fit though, it seems. I'm going to try and avoid damaging it while I pry it apart. There we go. The face is about the same size as the Nightbeat face, but it has a lot of extra material since, well, it's an actual head and not a Headmaster. I'll need to take a good chunk of this off. I'll start by cutting her mohawk and the tube for the screw flush with the rest of the piece. Then I'm going to rub it against some emery paper placed atop a small mirror. Emery paper is a bit like sandpaper on steroids. It's designed to rough up and remove material, including metals, and I actually use this to make some model locomotive wheels thinner. The mirror below keeps the surface as flat and even as possible as I move the face in a figure 8, pressing down as evenly as I can with my fingers and turning it 90 degrees every 4 figure 8s or so. This doesn't take long, as the emery paper makes short work of the plastic. Now the face is about as thick as the Nightbeat face, and mounts just right on the Titan Master body. But she is still missing her eyes, as these were originally part of the back of the head. No matter, I'll just cut these off with a razor saw. I'll of course need to be very careful with my fingers here. There we are. And it's a perfect fit. I'll also use the razor saw to cut off these 2 ear guns. These will go onto the arms of the Titan Master. As you can see, there's a bit of extra material left over, so I'll have to clean that up with a hobby knife. The arm guns look about right, so now I'll disassemble the rest of the Titan Master. Except for the legs. I can't be bothered to take this pin out of the knees. I'm sure this won't cause problems later. The ear guns are glued to the arms with plastic cement. This actually melts the plastic so that the 2 pieces bond together, rather than simply filling a gap. Once the plastic cement is cured, I'll spray everything with a coat of gray primer, and then a coat of Tamiya TS27. It's come out alright, except for on the knees. The thighs really should have been taken off so I could sand them down and make sure there was enough clearance for a coat of paint. I wonder what dumbass didn't use his pin punch to remove that pin. I'll try and patch this up later. Keyword try. I'm going to brush paint some Tamiya XF7 onto the body. I adore this red. It's nice and vibrant and dries to a very even coat. I'm going to apply some to the hands and a bit of the arms too, using the existing Minerva Titan Master as a guide. The arm guns will be painted with Vallejo NATO black. As will the shins to break up the white. I tried patching the chipping on the thighs with some Vallejo pure white, but this didn't work at all. To make sure I have enough clearance for a coat of paint and that the paint is consistent, I'm just gonna 3D print some new thighs made by Chalk Boa on Colts 3D, and painted the exact same way as the rest of the parts. Now time to do what I should have done in the first place. I'll use this spring-loaded pin punch to get it started, and then manually knock it out with a 1/16 inch punch and a hammer. Unfortunately, my hands weren't quite steady, and the shins are now a bit worse for wear. Thankfully, it's not horrible or irreparable. I'll just apply some plastic cement to the messed up area, press it back together, let it cure, then mask off the shins and take it back out for a quick spray. That's better. The Titan Master head will also need a few coats of red paint. This brush is way too big for the job, but in my defense, I was a bit tired at this point. Now the parts are all painted, and it's time for a clear coat to seal it all in. I'll use a semi-gloss spray as I did on the figure itself, and this just makes the colors pop even more. The knee pin goes in using a pair of wide pliers. I'll need to fabricate a pin for the hips. This wire is a bit too small at a mere 1mm, but I can probably secure it to the body with some super glue. I'll measure the hips with calipers, and cut it using a Dremel in the garage. Of course you won't be seeing that because I really don't want to risk any damage to my lens. The screw hole on this face doesn't align with the one on the Titan Master, so it'll need to be secured with a bit of super glue. Alrighty, it's the moment of truth. Bugger. The knees don't bend all the way in for head mode. Now I'll have to take out this pin again. Fun. I'll sand down the knees quite a bit more and test for clearance. I'll have to be careful not to breach the hole for the pin. And then I'll repeat the painting process again. Well, it's not perfect, but I'll take it. I've also used a Woodland Scenics foam nail as a pin for the tips this time around, and it's a nice snug fit, just about the right size. And once we have her on her body, she looks phenomenal. The facial features are far more distinct while retaining an air of softness and youthful innocence the character is meant to have. The Takara head looks so strange in comparison, with its tiny lips and giant chin. It really looks more fitting for Nightbeat, especially compared to the actual Nightbeat. Well, that's finally done and I can sell my God Ginrai set, and now I can get back to a project with a little more meat on its bones. I'm KeeperofToast, and I will see y'all next time.